Thank you very much to the organizers for the kind invitation to be today with you here. It's really an honor for me to present here at the Smart Budapest Forum the Swiss guide we have prepared a few years ago to support transformation of cities on their journey to become a smart city. It's a guide basically for small and medium-sized cities who do not have the capacities, the power to start the process, or who have already started the process and need more support. I will present you the guide along with some use cases, because as you may know, I have also part-time employment at the city of Winterthur within the Smart City unit, so I can present you also some insights. What you see here is the city of Winterthur, the railway station, and I'm happy that I can really base my presentation on the ground my previous speakers have prepared. So really from the beginning, from what the city manager said, along the following speakers, and also in that session, you will notice that I can take up some comments from the previous speakers. So how do we understand smart city? We understand the concept of smart city as a concept to expand system transformation. On the one hand, we have grand challenges where not only urban areas are facing, you all know them, climate change, so we need decarbonization, we aim for net zero in greenhouse gas emissions, we have resource consumption we want to minimize, we heard it just before, but we have also location competition. We heard from Vienna what the cities are doing to really attract business and people. We heard it also in the morning before the break, what you try to do to attract people to stay in Budapest. And that's exactly what we want to achieve with this concept. So the transformation, also transformation of administration. So we want to develop the city administration into a smarter level, so to really provide this smart governance. On the other side, we heard this morning that besides social innovation, we have more and more technological innovation. The city manager mentioned, for instance, ChatGPT. No? It's true, ChatGPT is using artificial intelligence, but what is ChatGPT doing? ChatGPT is collecting information human beings have entered into internet. No? And ChatGPT is just collecting the information in a more efficient way, as if we would like to search for it. Of course, we all know it's not yet at the level it could be, but for sure it will improve over time. No? I'm sure that most of you know DeepL, so these translation services, it has been improving constantly. And nowadays we can use DeepL easily for translation. No? So I'm sure that with the technological possibilities of digitalization, we can increase efficiency and also effectiveness. So we all have smartphones for sure in this room, and you all know all the mobile applications we have. We had heard it also this morning for public transportation, etc., etc. And here I think Budapest is really doing great, as other cities as well. We heard also that for data collection, we use sensors, so Internet of Things, no, collecting the data. We have to measure the data to use it, and finally, to do some sense making. No? We analyze the data, but the question is, what do we do out of that? No? We heard, for instance, also from Vienna, that you connect different data sets to have a better understanding of the residents in some districts. I think this is something which is really useful for different purposes. So we see the smart city concept as a bridging concept. It's really beyond just a digitalization or an e-government strategy. It shall support the sustainable development of cities. No, it's really the purpose is to support sustainable urban development, as was said also by a previous speaker, that we need and want to create more sustainable, more greener cities. So in Switzerland, we believe that with the smart city concept, we can also support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal 11, so the global SDG 11, which is about sustainable cities and communities. It helps also the implementation of the energy strategy, and of course also to achieve the net zero goals many Swiss, and not only Swiss, other cities are also striving for. In the Swiss guide, I have one example here, but this is just a German publication. But you find the translations in French, Italian, and English online, so you can download this guide for free on the website. There we have defined smart city as a concept, or a city who wants to offer its citizens high quality of life, at the same time with minimal consumption of resources. So here you see the sustainability aspect, let's say, and this shall happen thanks to intelligent networking of infrastructure systems. So it's about bringing together the different sectors, energy, transport, communication, etc., and also bring together the actors. So it's about breaking the silos we have in the administration, or also beyond disciplines. And this shall happen in a co-creative and innovative way. So we heard also this morning that we want to use the power of democracy, so participation involves especially the concerned people. So this can happen through co-creation processes. And of course, I mean, this system or these concepts are very much forward-looking, so we need more innovation. We need to advance also in innovation development. And depending on what you're looking for, you can go at different hierarchical levels. If we talk about mobility, then we might go at city level. If we look about interaction of citizens, we might go at district level, at neighborhood level. If we talk about improving or reducing energy consumption, we might go at building level and optimize the heating systems. So we base our guide also on this Smart City Wheel, which was developed by Boyd Cohen. You might know him. He's a smart city researcher from Barcelona. So you see this Smart City Wheel is divided into 6 sectors, and well, it touches the fields I mentioned already. So besides energy, mobility, and economy, it places also an emphasis on smart people. So I mean, I agree there with the city manager that at the end, the people have to be educated to change their behavior as well, to use the resources in a smart way. So it's also about smart living and smart government. Again, we want to support also the administrations in becoming smarter. So we structured the Smart City Guides mainly in 3 big phases, being aware that there are some steps in between, but from research and from experiences of practice, we know that most of the cities, they start with pilot projects, that they test something, and then if it's successful, it will be scaled up all over the city. And then after starting some pilots, they think, well, maybe it would be good if we would have a strategy or a policy paper or at least a vision. So then they enter into an institutionalization phase. Then they think, and maybe it's good to have also a unit who takes care of the smart city developments, an organization, a budget, because it needs resources. And finally, it goes along this way to a consolidation phase. So what we want to have at the end is kind of a learning city. So really a smart city which the systems are working and learning from the data they collect and from what they get, and so that it improves over the time. That's what we want to achieve. So as I said, this Smart City Guide is available online. Apart from this brochure, why is it online? Because you find many information already in the internet. So the advantage of internet is that you can connect the websites. So we provide online also lots of instruments, tools, checklists, which are helpful, templates also, which are helpful for municipalities, for cities, to start this transformation process. So I invite you to have a look at the guide. If you Google Smart City Guide, ZHAW, you will find it easily, but you can also connect, and then through the QR codes you will find my presentation. 2 years ago we started to assess the smart city landscape in Switzerland. Why do we do that? Because we want to better understand where are the cities right now, what is the status quo, in which phase are they, do we find best practice, so can we learn from each other, because at the end it's not just about making a ranking, that's nice, it's good for PR and promotion, but at the end, this surveys we do to learn from each other. We want to see what is this city doing better than we? Can we learn from them? Can we adopt something? That's what we want to do. And that's why we publish the results online. So from this Swiss Smart City Survey, you find it also online, all the results. But what you see here on the landscape is just it's the freedom. No? The city has the freedom to decide if it wants to be published or not. So here you see only half of the cities who participated. Means the other half said, we participate, but we do not want to be mentioned for whatever reasons. No? And it confirms that most of the cities are really in the pilot project phase. So in Switzerland, more than 50 cities. We have 170 cities in Switzerland. Among them, almost 20 now are entering the institutionalization phase. And in the consolidation phase, we have not yet arrived there. No? So, but you see, most of them are really now developing strategies and organizations so to really take up the topic and to bring it further. So we can define the three phases along these keywords. So in the pilot project phase, as I said, it's about testing, developing, problem solving, so also building knowledge and skills and then to share them. And it's also about increasing the acceptance among the population, especially when we collect data. This is something delicate, no? And I think here it's very helpful, I think it was mentioned this morning also, that data protection needs a strong legislation, and this helps then also to get the acceptance. No? That, and I don't know how it is here organized, but in Switzerland, each municipality has a data protection officer who takes care what happens with the data which is collected, especially the personal data. No? I think the public data, that should be openly available. I mean, environmental data, temperature, humidity, also air pollution data. I think that's clear, no? That the citizens want to know about the status of the environment where we live in. But about personal data there, it's very delicate, and there it's clear that it should only be published in an aggregated way, in an anonymous way, that you cannot trace back from whom the data is collected. So in the pilot project phase, it's also about breaking down the silo structures within the administrations, and as I said, scaling these pilots, and then finally develop these smart city initiatives. So in the survey, we saw that most of these pilots are being run in the domain of e-services. So the administrations, they want to provide more efficient services, to offer online access. But we find also a lot of pilot projects in the mobility and in the energy field. So lighting is also, for instance, related to energy, obviously. Now, if I may show you some use cases, I go obviously to the smart city, to the city of Winterthur, where I'm based. And we publish on our website of the city of Winterthur the projects. The city of Winterthur is the 6th largest city of Switzerland with approximately 120,000 inhabitants. Well, maybe for Hungary this is a smaller city, but in Switzerland, well, you might know that Switzerland has 8.5 million inhabitants, so Winterthur is really the 6th largest. The biggest one is Zurich. We are 20 minutes from Zurich away, so we are in the agglomeration, but we have a strong collaboration and partnership also with the greater Zurich area. It has undergone a strong transformation, this city. It's known as an industrial city. Heavy industries were developed in Winterthur. The Swiss locomotives were developed, produced in Switzerland, and now it's undergoing a transformation to a city of culture, education, and innovation. So finally it wants to become a smart city. This is possible because it has already the European Energy Award Gold, so it has this certification which helps to develop into a smart city, and it has a strategy since 2018 which gives the floor to build up our activity. And we do this because we have received from the population the ambitious goal to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2040. So we have quite a challenge to achieve this, but we are confident that with our collaboration and also with the young generation following us, we will be able to achieve this. Because Winterthur is a student city, you see it in this picture. It is well connected by public transportation, I think especially in the mobility field. Apart from public transportation, it is also quite flat, so it's also known as a bicycle city. Not that famous than Copenhagen, but we have some bike tracks and we have also other smart, sustainable mobility means. You see also lots of pedestrians in the city center. It is surrounded by green hills. I think that's important if you want to achieve this 15 or even 5 minutes city concept, that you have recreational areas very close, so you can live within the city center, and we have heard this morning also in more dense residential areas, but you need also green areas to get fresh air and to recreate. So since we have this smart city strategy, we were able to start pilot projects which are published on our website. These pilot projects are all somehow situated in this smart city wheel. And of course, we are very much also affected by climate change, so it's important, or it was important for us to understand where are the heat islands and what measures can we take. And we are aware that dense residential areas are important, but to fight against climate change, we need more greening areas also in those dense residential areas. So greening is an important aspect. As a city of culture, also digital access to culture is provided. And we see also that in mobility, apart from sustainable mobility, if we want to achieve this net zero goal, we need to electrify more. We need to abandon the fossil fuels. No? So we need more electric vehicles, and this has been done in the first lands also here related to the waste collection. This is an e-truck, which we are very proud that this has been developed by a company based in Winterthur. And then we have also our mobile application, the Winterthur app, which provides several services for digital interaction. We have in our university some colleagues who have developed this electric vehicle, ZHAW, which is a light vehicle, less than 100 kilometers. It is designed for urban mobility sharing, electric mobility sharing, solar powered, because we know from research that most of the people are driving just one person and have maybe a bag. So this small vehicle is sufficient. And we use also virtual reality to raise awareness about our smart city activities. Then with this app, which has been developed in collaboration with our colleagues from the Southern University of Applied Sciences in Lugano, we provide feedback to the households about their energy consumption and also energy saving tips. So because most of the people, they are not really aware about energy consumption and what they could do. So we want to educate them and offer them some gamification also. They can enter into a competition with other households who is saving more energy. So this is, imagine like a football soccer, no? You had the final some days ago here. So you could do the same in energy saving, a competition, no? So in the Winterthur app, we have several services. During the pandemic, we provided this neighborhood help, or we have also some modules which are more at district level to support digital interaction. So this is the ZHAW which we want to use, as I said, for electric vehicle mobility sharing. So it shall be stationed at different spots in Winterthur, so it can be used. Well, it is also designed with weather protection in Switzerland. We have sometimes stronger rain than what we have experienced here. To achieve net zero, we have since last year in the city administration this energy and climate concept with over 50 measures. So most of the measures are still in the building sector and in the mobility sector. So there we have still a huge potential to decarbonize, and we need to really take action there. How do we do that? Well, it's clear we need to, in the energy supply, to change to more renewables. We need to isolate more the buildings. We need to use more the smart heating controls, which are based also on weather forecast. In mobility, as I said, the emphasis is clearly on sustainable mobility and on public transport. And if we still have a remaining individual vehicles, then at least they should be electrified. No? Or, of course, mobility sharing. I think sharing, this is also a new concept, and more young people realize that it's not about having or owning a car, it's about using mobility. No? What we want to do is to go from A to B, and it doesn't really matter how to go there. If we have more time, we go maybe in a more relaxed way. If we have less time, then we try to combine different mobility means. That's what we want to offer them in a smart way. So in the institutionalization phase, it's about having these organizational structures, processes, instruments. And here, as I said, a strategy is certainly useful, a strategy, a policy paper, which can be based on what we provide in our guide. This has been done also in the city of Winterthur. In other cities of Switzerland, like the city of Schaffhausen, they have a vision and an implementation, which is also based on open data. As we can see here, they have also, here you see the open data Schaffhausen, as many other cities start now to publish the data they collect. In the city of Wil, they are also aiming at net zero. They do it especially with shared mobility, with more electric vehicles, with active mobility, so they call it active, more healthier mobility. And here in Winterthur, as I said, every year now based on the strategy, we have an innovation credit to fund some pilot projects. So you see here those from the running year. If you want to learn more about, you can approach me during the coming lunch break, or also in the break or in the evening. I will be here all day, so you can approach me and then I can explain you in more details how we are organized in the city of Winterthur and what use cases we are developing. So because we can see, and this is now also from the guys, that some cities follow a more technology push, like at the bottom level on the left side, this is the city of Santander with thousands of sensors measuring, and then out of it they provide some services. Or you see also the city of Vienna, which takes a more participative, needs-oriented approach. That's what we want to follow also in Switzerland. Or then the city of Amsterdam on the upper level on the left side, which is more about public-private partnerships. So I think the institutionalization phase is really to go from the pilot projects to these smart city initiatives, and this shall be based on potential and needs analysis, so to really address the needs of the citizens. And that's what we want to do with the concept of a living lab. So we see the city of Winterthur as a living lab, we call it WinLab, where we, as I said, an urban living lab where we want to test technological social innovations. And this helps us also to attract more research funds to the city and to realize some case studies. And finally, the consolidation phase is then about expanding the Smart City Partner Network, so to build up this ecosystem. I think it was mentioned also this morning, to introduce new structures, implement new applications, and also to change the culture and the behavior. Also this was mentioned already by my previous speakers. So this is our network. We still need to enlarge. We are involved in some national associations. We have some contacts to companies, to the technoparks, so startup incubators. The utility is very important when it comes to energy topics, but we are aware that we can do much better and that we want to develop this innovation system based on these pillars, which you will find then in my presentation, but I do not want to prevent you now from the lunch break. That's why I'm speeding up and I come to the conclusion. So we see the smart city process is really a long-term and a complex transformation process. So undergoing these three main phases, this shall help us then to become a smart city. And here is the QR code. You will find it in the presentation, which brings you directly to the Smart City Guide with all the relevant instruments. I see that you take some pictures, so maybe I wait, but anyway, you will get the slides I heard from the organizers, and so you will have sufficient time to access the QR code later on as well. But I waited just a second. Okay, thanks. So there you find also web links to relevant networks, associations I mentioned, to some innovation instruments. We have these so-called innovation boosters, several innovation boosters, which help the transformations, and also to some events. In September is the next Swiss Green Economy Symposium, where we always run also a Smart City Innovation Forum. And with this co-creation platform, I come to the end. This is a platform which shall bring together startups, researchers, people from city administration who want to work together on a great idea and who had not the chance to meet before. And yeah, some outlook. We do also some training, obviously, at our university to educate the people. And with this, I thank you for your attention, and I look forward to meeting you during the breaks. Thank you.